Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. Look, it's Monday, right? Let's get right to it. It's July 15th. It's Monday. Hope all of you had a great weekend. I did. It went fast. Those 2 days, Saturday, Sunday feel like, 5 minutes because Friday, it's still part of the week. You get through that day. If you do anything that day, right, you wake up, you go, I got one day. The next day, you're like, oh, Monday's tomorrow. And it feels a little fast, right? So I'm all in favor of the weekend being extended to a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing because you got 4 days on, 3 days off. That would make my day better. That would make my weekend better. I know that for sure. Today, we're going to dive into the Chiefs. I just want to see how you guys felt over your weekend. Did you do anything? Do you feel better in the summer where you guys are at right now? Is it blazing like it is here in Miami? When it's downpour, raining, it feels good. You go outside on the porch, the back porch, the breeze is coming in. As soon as the rain stops, you're like, all right, it's a little hot back in the house, right? Time to shower again, do it all again. So I'm just saying I love the summer because there's all things to do, but it is blazing. I saw some people coming into the chat today saying that it's been hot where they are. That is true, and 150% goes for down here in Miami. So we're going to dive in today. We're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs because the NFL is back. We're excited, and we're dialing to team by team, day in and day out until we get to the preseason games and into the season with our play-by-play. So let's get right into it today, and let's just kind of call it what it is, right? The Kansas City Chiefs needs for the 2024 NFL season, and you see it right there. Got the Chiefs symbol right there, rocking and rolling year in and year out. The Chiefs have been building their franchise, doing some great things, obviously. What are their needs? I went into this whole situation toward the end of the last season and into the playoffs, and I had some pictures here, and I said, look, I love what Patrick Mahomes is doing. I love what the Chiefs are doing. I love what the franchise is doing, the fans, all that, the stadium. It's been great. They needed a receiver last year. They needed some receivers. They didn't have any. They had Rashee Rice. They didn't have a lot of other weapons out there. Obviously, Travis Kelce. We're going to go into that in a second. But the most important part was to add a receiver. And they did that. We're going to go into that in a second. Add a receiver to the offense, another weapon for Patrick Mahomes. Get outside the pocket, make plays, and he does every single week. In the playoffs, we're like, whoa, the Chiefs look a little suspect right now. I'm not playing too good. Still winning football games, right? That's the whole thing. They didn't look that good, but they're winning football games. And that's why people are like, you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes because he wins football games. And that was the whole reason why I started comparing him last season to Tom Brady. Completely different players, right? Completely different players. We're going to go on to will, quote unquote, Patrick Mahomes be the best, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the National Football League, the best that they've ever seen. We're going to go into that in a second. Is it true? I'm not saying it is yet. I'm just saying, what do you guys think? Is it true? We're going to dive into that in a second. But more importantly, continue building their defense to get stronger and adding weapons for him because obviously he's got Pacheco in the backfield. He's got a decent offensive line, right? No big deal there. Travis Kelce, tight end position. We're going to dive into what he means to the Chiefs. And then adding that receiver opposite of Rashee Rice, being able to have those connections. The offense will be powerful. On the defense, you're like, look, a little bit of pass rush and those kind of things will make their team be, and again, an opportunity for a Super Bowl chance. In the chat right now, I put a poll in there. I believe, it says, will the Chiefs win 3 in a row? Will they be the first team in history? So we're going to go on to that piece right now. Will the Kansas City Chiefs win a 3rd Super Bowl in a row? And this is the main component, right? Led by the center, Andy Reid, head coach, great for the Eagles, gets out there, obviously coaching for the Chiefs and giving them back-to-back Super Bowls. Will Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes come together, continue to build that franchise, and get a 3rd Super Bowl for those fans, for those amazing, crazy Arrowhead fans out there, chanting in that stadium to get a 3rd Super Bowl. And here's the thing. They find ways, right? And that's why I always compared him to Tom Brady in a way because they just find ways. And when I look at what they have, the lineup, they brought some players in, and that's what I wanted to do right now for a second. I got some images here I wanted to pull up for you guys to see what they do. Yes, they brought in Xavier Ward. They brought a bunch of talent that can come in, but most important was that receiver. They traded up and they got a receiver. And then they bring in players like Louis Rezamet, right? And I have that picture here to show you what they do differently. They went out and found this guy, and end of last season, last year I brought this up. I said the Chiefs, they find ways to win. They got this guy here, Louis Rezamet, a rugby player, had a whole series on him, a whole segment based on what he's bringing to the table. And look, you get a guy that can run the football, catch the football. He can make plays. He can tackle. You could put this guy at linebacker if you want. Like, you're getting a rugby player. Someone, and I want this to be completely understood in the right context. Like, you're getting a guy that had to play rugby, who had to tackle people, right? Physical, had speed, can run the ball. You can hand him the ball at probably a fullback position or maybe even a running back position, and also throw him the ball. You can hit with screens. You can run like mismatches, obviously, from an H-back position. Maybe even some tight ends, some doubles. If you come in out with 2 tight ends in the game, you can put him outside linebacker. Like, I mean, they find talent to plug people in different places to win football games, and that's why the Kansas City Chiefs have a great opportunity this year, and that is why people were saying, yeah, there's an opportunity up here. Here we go now at the top. Right now, 67%, I will end the poll correctly today, 67% of people today are saying the Chiefs will not win 3 in a row. They are 2 in a row. They are bringing back everybody. Who will stop them in the chat right now? Guys, who would stop the Chiefs this season? If you're watching it or if you come into the show later and you watch this as a live stream or as a regular upload in there right now, who will be able to stop the Kansas City Chiefs at their venture this season to win another Super Bowl? Obviously, with Andy Reid, they have some great opportunities here. I'm going to pull up Arrowhead Stadium. Look, the fans come out. They show out. They get it done. They're loud. This is a hard place to play. And I'm not knocking Kansas City, but what else is in Kansas City? I mean, if you live in Kansas City, you can give me tons of things that are there. But for everybody that's sitting at home right now and watching the Chiefs, do you know anything that goes on in Kansas City outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And that is why I'm saying this. Like, the Chiefs realistically have everything they need to win football games, and then they have the entire fan base that's what they cheer for. And then there was a conversation based upon, will they stay in that stadium? Because they said, we want to do some upgrades. It was going to cost them a gazillion dollars, right? Like, without even giving an exact terminology or exact number or whatever, a gazillion dollars. We'll use that for now. Let's just call it 700-800 million, whatever. The Chiefs ownership was willing to fork out about $400 million XYZ money. And they said, what if we go out and we raise the money from the city to put back into it? Now, most places they would say, I'm not forking my money out there. The Chiefs are so good. They have so much money they can do it. But realistically, this is the venue that Kansas City puts a lot of time into, right? They spend a lot of time here. So if you're going to anywhere in the world, and I hate to say they should put the money there, I'm just saying anywhere in the world, if a city's going to put money into something, Kansas City, you got, just so you guys know, there's Kansas City, Kansas, and there's Kansas City, Missouri, okay? So we don't get confused, all right? But out there, Arrowhead Stadium, if they're going to put money into something, this is a venue where they spend a lot of time. So if the ownership comes out $400 million and the city comes up with some money, I'm not saying to put it on the fan base or put it on the city. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if they did, I can see that being something that's going on. Anyway, I believe they have an excellent shot. I know people in the chat right now. Let's see. Roger, you said that possibly the Eagles, right? Tracy, how do you feel about that? How do you guys feel about that? Can anybody else beat the Chiefs? Is there anybody that can step up and get it done against the Chiefs, against Patrick Mahomes, the guy that seems like he's unstoppable even when backs up against the wall? Do you think that's possible? Maybe, maybe not. Just saying, will they get 3 in a row? Big question, big conversation. And let's go here now. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's done everything asked of a quarterback up to this time, whether it's Super Bowls, getting out there, leading his offense, an MVP offensive player. Even when you're like, okay, they're not going to win, they battle back and they do win. Ultimately, obviously, winning the Super Bowls is the most interesting thing for quarterbacks. I'm sure you see a picture here. There's been a lot of pictures like this in different jerseys because he's been there so many times. Now you look at it and you go, okay, Patrick Mahomes, is he the guy, right? What has he done different and the adversity that he's fought through? Like, I'm just saying, I have pictures, and I want to say this with the most respect possible before I go into the best of all time. He's handled adversity because he has his wife, right, who people were like, I don't like her, whatever. You're not married to her, so it doesn't matter. I'm not married to her, so it doesn't matter. But there's some consequences to some actions, right? Him out there, his brother, Jackson Mahomes, Brittany Mahomes, like they were doing some outlandish things at the stadium, obviously building up their their little media setup they wanted to do. And look, they're in the stage to do it, right? Like they have a front stage opportunity at the stadium, away or home, to build their thing, their TikTok, their social media, because they're like, she's married to Patrick Mahomes, arguably the greatest of all time, arguably, and definitely one of the best. And then you got the brother there getting arrested for XYZ things, but they're just out there getting it done, having fun, enjoying themselves, right? And so you're looking at it and you're going, is he one of the best of all time? He's definitely fought through some adversity, getting hated on by some of this stuff, winning football games, getting out there, building the camaraderie, being a leader on the field. You saw him out there with a broken helmet, playing in temperatures that were unbearable for most people. And when they played against, obviously even the Bills, when the Bills had a playoff game, it was the whole organization was shoveling snow out of the stadium to get it going and get it right. But anyway, these are just the things that they have. He's got some adversity that he fights through. But more importantly, he's just an overall leader. Will he be the greatest of all time? How do you compare him to Tom Brady? When you look at Tom Brady and you see the wins, obviously getting traded, going to the Bucs, and then you go, okay, I like Tom Brady. He goes to the Bucs. People were so mad. Why would you leave the Patriots and go to the Bucs? Goes there, wins the Super Bowl, and people are like, that's elite, right? Not many coaches, not many players, especially at the quarterback position. You've seen Brett Favre leave the Packers and try to win over in Jets. Didn't work out. You've seen Aaron Rodgers leave, go to the Jets. You see how that's working out currently right now as we speak. Do you think, Patrick Mahomes, his accolades, what he's doing in the chat right now, is he the greatest of all time? Is he the greatest right now? And then the question is, will he be, right? Like, we're not going to say right now he's the best. His other quarterbacks have done some great things. Tom Brady's won more Super Bowls, more passing yards, all that stuff. Tom Brady is still the GOAT in my eyes because he's proven so many times. We can't forget when someone leaves the game and go, oh, this guy's like, they do this all the time. Like, you see LeBron James on the court. Someone steps up for 2 games. He's like LeBron James. I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying Patrick Mahomes has proven so many things that other players have not. If you're in here right now in the live stream, throw the dice in the chat. I'm going to do it right now. Welcome back to the show. I appreciate you guys. We got a lot going on. We got a lot of momentum that's building. As soon as we upload the live streams, more views than ever are pouring in. People are starting to jump on our ship and cruise with us. So I'm excited about that. And you guys should be excited about this NFL season coming up. But Patrick Mahomes, is he the greatest of all time right this very second? For me, he's not the GOAT right now. On the field, he's the GOAT in the NFL right now of all people that are playing. Obviously you got Lamar Jackson, all this kind of stuff. But right now, Patrick Mahomes is probably the GOAT right now in the National Football League. But if you look at, will he be in time of the history of the NFL? If he wins this Super Bowl this season and he's 3 in a row, he still doesn't have more than that, but 3 in a row is a big accolade. Then you start even saying, look, the guy didn't have all these players, didn't have all the talent. If you ask me, he needed some weapons. Now he's got more, and we're going to that in a second to see if he will be. Right now we have, what does Travis Kelce mean to the Kansas City Chiefs? And I said this on Friday. I said, look, the Cowboys, they need their quarterback their tight end to step up. Every team right now that has great tight ends went to the 49ers with George Kittle. We're going to do all the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey and all them. George Kittle stepped up. Then you got Travis Kelce steps up. You start looking at all the teams around the National Football League, you're like the guys with the tight ends, the guys that make plays, H-back, they create mismatches. Those teams win games. And right now I have a picture I want to pull up of Travis Kelce. This is what you're dealing with, a guy who's focused, a guy who's got a lot of charisma, a guy who's vocal. He's a leader on the field, has his own relationship. We'll go on to Taylor Swift. But he's getting it done, winning football games. He's a target that people want to throw the ball to. He's a target that is very hard to stop. He's proven that every single week. They double cover him. They jam him at the line of scrimmage. They do everything they can do to stop Travis Kelce. He's still making big plays. And I got to tell you, heading into the playoffs and all that, I said, man, I don't know. The Chiefs look a little shaky right now. And then they turned it on. It was like you were in regular season, you won most of your games, right? And then you lost a couple. I said, that was a little shaky. And then you get to the playoffs, and the good teams turn it on. The great teams turn it on. And we seen the fire that he had, right, with Andy Reid. We saw the fire in his eyes screaming because he took him off the field, and they were the game was on the line. The game was on the line. Should you ever scream in your coach's face? Probably not. But it might have been a good thing, because they have a lot of love and respect for each other. On the sideline during an NFL game, when you're going to have a lot of media attention, just isn't a good look. I will say that. But I will tell you that this was something that happened. And look, it sparked a lot of interest. And I think Andy Reid said, look, I'm not taking any kind of negativity. I'm not taking any kind of negative way. right? Because we got Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position, and I just love what he's doing, and we got to win this game, and they were fired up and ready to go. But I like what this guy brings to the table. I like his energy. And look, we're not talking about a guy who's 5'11", 6'4". This is a big man on the field, a big-time target. Every single NFL team should take this advice, and they should go out and they should recruit the number one tight end. I've been saying this now for a while. I said it last season. I'm saying it this season beforehand. If you want to win a Super Bowl this year, if you want a Super Bowl in the National Football League, you want to win games, you need a tight end that's versatile. I'm saying someone that can block, someone that can catch. Not just a big-time guy like Gronkowski, a guy can block, a big-time guy, can catch, was making plays. Why do you think Tom Brady was going to Super Bowls? You got another guy. You got the tight end position to hit that target, whether it's 1st and 10, whether it's 2nd and 8, whether it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 5, that tight end goes, hits that little stop route, boom, 6 yards, 9 yards, bang. He's a big body guy that can box you out, can catch the pass in front of him and make plays. That is why the Kansas City Chiefs are winning football games, and that is why you saw several teams get what they got because of this. And I'm just saying, right now is the time in National Football League, if people are watching this right now and you watch it after the show or this goes uploading, teams need to go out and recruit the best tight end, because those quarterbacks will have an outlet to get to immediately. And if you look around the National Football League right now, you go take a look. Guys, throw the dice in the chat. Throw the cash money symbol in the chat right now. I'm going to read some of these messages in a second. Everybody put the cash symbol in the chat right now and let that cash light up. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to start it right now. Why the hell not? Bang. There you go. Throw some cash symbols in the chat right now, because we're money this season. We got a lot going on. We got some bets I'm going to give to people as we get started in the National Football League stuff too as well. But look, I'm just saying, I call it like it is. Travis Kelce is a big-time part of the Chiefs, a big-time part of Arrowhead Stadium, a big-time part of that fan base, and I'm just breaking it down for you in a nutshell. If you want to win in the National Football League, you want to win football games, great. But if you want to win Super Bowls, you better look at your tight end and go all around the National Football League when you get off today and look at those teams and look at those tight ends and watch who's winning football games. Look who's tough, who's a warrior, who's making plays, and who's a leader on the field. If your tight end is one of those guys, you got a great opportunity, and you move it around with other players, obviously. They can help with the offensive line with the blocking scheme. They can also catch passes. I like what Travis Kelce's doing. And then, obviously, we have a lot of other things that he's doing up in the field, up in the press box. We have Taylor Swift, and I believe she's actually helping Brittany Mahomes get it under control, right? Like I want to say that some people don't like Taylor Swift. I never listened to her music in my life, have no idea what song. I'm sure if you put one on, I've heard it before, but I'm just saying I don't follow her music. I'm not saying whether or not she's a greatest and that or not. I know she's a billionaire due to her music, but she's up there. She's in the press box. She's helping Brittany Mahomes get it together. I can promise you that. She's getting under control. That's Travis Kelce's, future life right there. And then, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes is like, thank God she's got a running mate to hang out and chill with and relax, because greatly needed it, because Jackson Mahomes just wasn't that person. They just were together. We're just a crazy image up there in the box and going crazy. But let's move on right now to the next segment and part of our show. Kansas City Chiefs impact players this season. We know Patrick Mahomes. We know Travis Kelce. But let's get to Xavier for a second. They needed a receiver, and they got one. And they made trades in the NFL draft to get up and get a player that they wanted to get. You got a guy who's a speed demon. You got a guy who made plays all through college. You got a guy who's ready to show up. And this is exactly what Patrick Mahomes needed, and he went out and the team got it. Xavier Worthy joins the roster, and this is someone that they can go to day in and day out, week in, week out, Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Like, this is a guy they can turn to and make plays. And now that they added that to the roster, it's like, what can't they do now? Like, they literally have to beat themselves in order to not win football games. You see him in college, he was balling out, doing some big things, and then he shows up and he's going to ball out for the Kansas City Chiefs. And look, will they win a Super Bowl this year? Maybe. But the impact player started, obviously, at Patrick Mahomes and what he's doing. I love what he brings to the table. Let's just pull this up for a second. This is your main guy, your impact player of the team, obviously. And then when you look around the roster, you look at what they needed. They went out, and I like what the Chiefs do. They got Louis Rees-Zammit, went out and got him a rugby player. They went out and got the receiver in the NFL draft. They needed it. Now they got Rashee Rice. They got Xavier Worthy, and I believe I got pictures of them two together coming on the field, which would be an awesome impact there. And what I wanted to do is talk about for a second, I believe when we get to the next piece of the pie, how like Tyreek Hill, how he was there. And they're like, when he leaves, they're going to be terrible because they don't have a receiver. They're still in the Super Bowl, right? So it doesn't even matter. But I like what he brings to the table and these impact players, what they will need to win this NFL season. And look, here is what I wanted to talk about. Tyreek Hill playing for the Chiefs was a baller. The Cheetah made his name there. One of the fastest guys in the National Football League, was balling. And then he went to the Dolphins. They're like, oh man, why would they let go of him? The Chiefs are going to be terrible now. Not really, right? Like they won another Super Bowl. So like didn't even need Tyreek Hill on Tyreek Hill, the speed demon, one of the best receivers in the National Football League, didn't even need him. And they still won a Super Bowl, right? So when we're talking about impact players, they lost a massive impact player. And they still won the Super Bowl, and that's all I'm saying. And if we're going to dive into that, we're going to talk about the conference right now. We're going to talk about who they have to play against, who they have to beat in order to get it done. And it's why the Chiefs keep winning Super Bowls. And we got the picture of Patrick Mahomes, obviously. But more importantly, let's go into this right now. We got the Chargers. We got the Chiefs. We got the Raiders. We got the Broncos. When you look at this conference right here, I don't want to say it's easy, but pretty much, right? Like it's pretty easy right here if you look at this picture of the Chiefs in the AFC West jumping, out there. If you're going to look at this, obviously Harbaugh showing up now coaching for, out there. Chargers have an opportunity. The Raiders have been up and down. They brought in their new coach, gets fired. They got new quarterbacks coming in, not working out. The Broncos are kind of in shambles since Peyton Manning's left. And then you look at, the Broncos could be good this season. I'm not saying, but then you look at the whole scheme and you go, okay, the Kansas City Chiefs. Right? Like that's the team right now that people have to look at in that conference, obviously. And then it's like the conference, yeah. And Andy, you're in there too, weak division, right? Do you guys think that's a weak division? Do you guys right now in the chat, do you think this is the weakest division in the National Football League? I'm not saying that they won't grow. These teams have opportunity. Raiders can put it together if defense, they can put it together. The Broncos and the Chargers, couple down years, obviously. But the Raiders have a chance to put it together. But is this a weak division? In the chat right now, yes or no? Drop it in the chat. Is it a weak division? Yes or no? I want to read some of your messages here right now as we move forward in part of this segment. But why they keep winning Super Bowls? Let me see right here what's going on in the chat. Let me read some of these messages that I couldn't see. My eyes are freaking wonderful at best, right? Let me see right here. Roger said, opinion is he is very good now, but I think they throw the GOAT out there too often. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree. Raj, I agree. Like they literally made him the GOAT immediately, as if he was surpassing Tom Brady immediately, just like what LeBron James players come in or Michael Jordan. Wow, he's like Michael Jordan. Like they make these people that are good and they will be elite. They make them elite and almost as if they're on the same level immediately. I agree. That's what they do. Let's go to Brian. Brian, what are we saying here in the chat? Let me take a look. Brian said, I'm old. I saw Montana, Marino, Manning. I see it on here. Warner, Brady, Vic, Pat Mahomes. Let me see what you said here. Does this, it says, does things they didn't. He's the best I've ever seen. And Brian said, look, he's the best you've ever seen. You saw him ball out there. Like you saw Patrick Mahomes getting it done. You saw guys back in the day. So what you're saying is you think that this is the best that you've seen and will be the GOAT in time. Let me see right now. Yeah, I agree, Roger. The Chiefs division. Tracy, what you think? Could be better, right? Brian said, I'm not mad at Taylor Swift. And he said, could be good, but I see it out there. Look, here's what I'm saying right now. I like what the Chiefs are doing for main reasons as they make changes to get better, right? They're not going out and getting people for no reason. Like they're not going out and I got like Pittsburgh Steelers, for instance. Will it be good? Maybe. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, like, are they improving that much? Maybe. But when you look at the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, like they need a receiver. Bang, went out and did it. Right? I need a receiver, got one. Now you got Rashee Rice, you got Xavier, you got Travis Kelce. They are heading into this season with an awesome firepower offense. As long as the defense plays tough, the Chiefs are a hard team to beat. If you're in the National Football League right now, why are other teams not following this direction? When you look at these teams like the Broncos and the Raiders and the Chargers and the Arizona Cardinals, and you can go the Giants, the Jets, you can go on and on and on across the National Football League. There's like 20 teams that you're like, what's going on here? And then there's a solid 12, like solid 10 teams that you're like, Every year they're going to compete. Every year they're going to compete. Every year they're going to compete. Even the Dallas Cowboys, you might be mad at Dak Prescott in the postseason not winning playoff games, but you're like, they're going to compete. Like every year they're going to come in, they're going to compete. They're going to do something. The Chiefs are doing things different. They got the social media on lock as well. They got rid of Tyreek Hill, and people thought that was crazy. They still won a Super Bowl. Even through adversity, they're winning games. Playing in the cold, they're winning games. And that's the other thing, too, in the playoffs. They're used to playing in the cold. They're used to when you get to playoff weather, January weather, you're like, it's freezing cold, but we're up here in Kansas City. We're used to this shit. When the Miami Dolphins travel to play in that, I don't care if you're from there or not. When you're in Miami, I've been in Miami now for 12, 13 years, whatever. After a couple years in Miami, your blood changes. You're like, oh, it's so cold, right? Like, I want to go back home, visit home, buy a property, and be back home around my family and all that's great. I look forward to it. And then we hit a couple 50-degree weathers in the year where, like, we have, like, 5, right? A couple where it got a little cold this past season. Like, oh, it's a little cold outside. And you tell her, like, it's a little cold down here. Like, yeah, it's like 5 degrees up here. I'm like, yeah, it's like 48 here. It's freezing. You know, so at the end of the day, people are like, okay, like, playing in the postseason is completely different in regular season for those reasons. Hey, look, I want to say I appreciate you guys. We're hitting every single team. I know as we're going through, some of these teams are your favorite. Some of them aren't, right? Like tuning in for the Chiefs conversation, tuning in for the Cowboys conversation, the Steelers conversation. These aren't your favorite teams. We're just breaking down who's on what roster, what the playmakers look like, the impact players, what their conference looks like, the schedules, breaking that down because when they get into the season here, come preseason, we got the live play-by-plays going. It's going to be great. You're going to see a lot of people coming on here. We have so many games per week. Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night games, football games will be coming on here live, rocking and rolling. I know a lot of people are getting up Monday, getting going. I know he is motivated, Mile High, Pitbull Mama. They got some stuff going on this morning. They're going to be back into the live stream. I'm excited to have them back. They sent me some messages. But all I'm saying is I'm interested to see what happens in preseason. Are they going to play quarterbacks longer than normal? Going out there and playing for one quarter or playing for a couple drives. I think you got to let your quarterback get out there a little bit. It's football. I mean, you're paying a lot of money. I get it. You don't want Patrick Mahomes to get out there and get hurt. Then don't run those plays where there's 5-step reads or run naked bootlegs. Run shotgun offense. Quick little drops. Boom, boom. Make decisions. Let them run little quick things. Let the fan base get involved. National Football League to keep growing this season. A lot of craziness going on. Lawsuits going on. Let them get started. Let me see. We got some new messages in here for a second. Gary said, front office coaching, general manager, core number of players all have remained. And it says, and remain with the same purpose. That's right. They're ready to win a football game. They're ready to win a football season and ready to win a playoffs and ready to win a Super Bowl. So I understand completely. I think they got a good shot at this up top. Right now, 56%. I'm going to close that poll so you guys can see what it looks like. Let me see. End poll. Bang. There it goes in the chat. You can see the poll just ended to see what people were saying. If you're in the live stream right now, hit the like button right now. Smack that like button right now. Bang, bang, bang. If you haven't, thumbs up button. We're moving on. I cannot wait, guys, when the season starts. We're hitting game, week in, week out. We have Monday through Friday. We're hitting all the teams as we go through. Tomorrow we have another team. Make sure you stay in there. If you haven't yet, on the website, BrandonMasonShow.com, go on there and put your email in so you can get the live updates. You know, during our season, we have giveaways, cash giveaways. We spin the wheel throughout the game. If you're in here right now, you got the wheel. You know what time it is. Put the wheel in the chat. If you haven't seen it yet, during the freaking season, we dropped the wheel in there. Everybody during the game, lucky people are spinning. We gave away thousands of dollars in the last during the NBA playoffs and finals. And this year in the NFL season, we'll be giving out money every single game. And we'll also be doing some bets and sports bets during live in-game opportunities with player props, which is first downs or how many completions or touchdowns or how many yards they can run for. We're going to do all that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I greatly appreciate you guys. You better get ready for the guests that are coming on the show. We have NFL players coming on during the season. It's going to be a lot of fun. And as we get forward into the game, we have our live play-by-plays. So we'll be on here live for NFL games Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. But make sure you go on there, BrandonMasonShow.com, put your email in because there's going to be a lot of cool people jumping on the platform. And as you know, there's going to be thousands of people in our live stream during the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be giving away a lot of cash prizes and things. So I greatly appreciate you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Make sure you're here at 9:55. Don't come at 10 as we keep building. Our marketing is getting ready to get started. Even back home in 908 area code, we're going to start doing our marketing. We have billboards. We have a lot of cool things that are coming for the show. We're looking forward to that. I'm excited for that. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 9:55. Do not miss that action. I will see you guys soon. Guys, have a great rest of your Monday. It's a long Monday. I already know what time it is. I try to make it easier for you to jump on here 10 to 10:30, 10 to 11. We get through today, and you're like, it's Tuesday. All of a sudden, we're at hump day. That's our goal, because after hump day, we get right into football, right? Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. And also, during some of the preseason, we have games overseas in London. We'll be streaming 9:30 in the morning, which is kind of cool. We'll have the game live right here, bullshitting. We'll have a lot of people from overseas, from London, actually on our platform. Looking forward to that. I will be talking to you guys soon, every single day, Monday through Friday. We're live here at 10 a.m. I can't wait for those live guests to come on. I will see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day. Until next time.